Hey folks, my name's Kevin and it's time for a little bit more knife nerdery, and today we are opening up the Luft Concepts Avant. I got to check out the prototype of the Avant, and it was the kind of thing where the moment I had it in hand, I immediately understood why it was shaped the way it was, and it felt so right in my hand. So I've been really eagerly awaiting my own. And I'm in a group chat with Jake, one half of Luft Concepts, and everyone started getting theirs today. They're all in a later time zone than me, so like their mail carrier just left 3 hours earlier than mine did, and so I've been very carefully avoiding the unboxing videos they've been posting because you might notice that this is a large box and it's just a knife in here, and so supposedly there's some kind of like relatively elaborate packaging going on for the people that got in the pre-order, and I didn't want to have it spoiled for me. So I guess if you order one of these, maybe don't have it spoiled for you too. Maybe pause and stop, I don't know, or keep watching. To unbox this, I think I'm going to use the Trevor Burger Urban because it is another knife with a very tall, high hollow grind. I don't think my unboxing video for this has shown up on the channel yet, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, let's finally take a look. And also, the knife itself has like no billboarding, so I just find it very funny that they billboarded the ever-loving hell out of this box. They put their logo absolutely everywhere, but much rather it on the box. Okay, let's see what we have in here. Why is it such a big box? I just noticed my address is on that. Okay. Okay, so odds are if you ordered this knife, then you know who Jake is and you know his Bearded Gear channel. It'd be kind of strange for you to have found this and not have some idea of who he is as a person, what his whole thing is. But what you might not realize is that Jake unabashedly adores his fanny pack, and he lives in California and insists that where he lives, it's actually more normal to have a fanny pack than not. I've not been where he lives, so I have no idea if that's a true statement, but he unabashedly loves it. He has posted many different videos about his fanny pack and the way that he uses it for EDC, and so it is just so fitting and hilarious that they got Luft Concepts fanny packs for this. Okay, well, okay. Is there anything in these different pockets? This front pocket is empty. There appears to be a zipper back pocket that is also empty. And so let's open up the main pocket here. Oh, there's a bunch of stuff in here. Let's take this all out. Did I get everything? I did. Okay, by the way, my camera is picking this up as if this is like kind of a very blue, almost ocean blue, but in real life, it's definitely kind of a brighter teal. It's much greener looking. My camera has a hard time capturing this color. It's just heads up for folks. Actually, I'll just put that over here. What is all of this? Okay, so we have a Luft Concepts beer koozie. Of course, why not? This is also a much brighter, kind of more teal color that my phone is having trouble capturing. This is a Luft Concepts air freshener. That is also very fitting. If you watched my incredibly long, I think like it's an hour and 20-minute long, small details review of this knife and the backstory, you'll know that this name comes from their shared passion. Ryan and Jake, their shared passion for vintage air-cooled German automobiles, especially like air-cooled Porsches. And the name Avant comes from Audi's naming scheme for their wagons and everything like that. And so it makes total sense that they would have a car-themed thing like an air freshener in this. I haven't a clue what this is. The knife is obviously in here. I guess this opens up like this. What do you think is in here? Man, they went all out on this branded packaging stuff. What is this? Okay. Okay, so this is our COA. I got number 89, which is in black micarta and belt satin. You might notice brown micarta. Yeah. I don't 100% know how much they've leaked about that, but they actually got some extras made in brown micarta that they're going to be bringing to a show, and it's written on here, so obviously they're expecting that to go out to the public. But there's Ryan and Jake's signatures. This is really cool on the back. Oh, that's raised up and glossy. Damn, that's neat. What else do we have here? We have a Avant keychain. Man, they are going bonkers all out on this stuff. We have a Luft Concepts Ranger Eye. If you don't know what Ranger Eyes are, that term comes from their original use in military setting from a way of identifying. Whatever, I'm not going to go into all that. Point is they are small patches that go on EDC cases and stuff like that. And this one is delightful. Look at the 3D raisedness of it. You can, oh yeah, that's so cool. Oh, neat. So this is a hollow sticker, but unlike the hollow stickers that I got from my channel, this has this kind of like sparkly matte finish combination. That's freaking cool. And that is nuts. Who drew this? I'm gonna have to ask him about that. Who drew that? You can see he is holding, this mad scientist is holding the Avant right there. He has his beaker and there's the little tiny Luft logo. This is a reference, I'm assuming, to the fact that this symbol here is the alchemy symbol for air, and Luft means air in German. And so this is a mad scientist working on the alchemy of air. This is so neat. So many little things. Okay, we're gonna keep going. This is a like velveteen pouch in a pretty green. It's I'm gonna be honest with you, it clashes horrendously with this in my opinion. But whatever, this is a very yellow green and those are very blue teals. Okay, we've got even more. We've got an Avant sticker. Ooh. Yeah, that is gorgeous. This is more of the kind of hollow that I am used to seeing, where it's very shiny, and we contrast that with the matte finish over there. The knife itself is wrapped up in a Luft Concepts little, what do you call these? Wipe thing. What do they call these? I don't know. Cloth. And it's the kind of cloth you would use for like eyeglasses, something like that. This is showing you, again, the callback to the like vintage German car branding. This styling looks so much from that era, and I love the color scheme. And you get to again see their logo right there. And then finally, let's look at the knife. So this is really, really cool because what you get to see here is what the black micarta looks when it's completely fresh. If you watched that 2-hour video I posted, you'll see how incredibly dark this gets. And so that's, if you put oil on micarta or if you just use it in your hand, it naturally darkens in because this is the fabric, and that fabric will absorb the oil and that makes it look darker. And look how bright and light it looks when it's brand new. You can see some spots right there where it has a little bit more of the resin showing, and so the entire thing is gonna become more like that. Okay, let's open this up. Okay. Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, I'm getting more and more excited every time I open it. Okay. Ooh. Oh yeah, okay. So one of the things that they did, I'm not gonna go into this knife and all of the design elements again because I posted a hour and 20-minute long video about all of the cool little things about this knife, but I will focus, oh man, that's so fun. I will focus on what is different between the regular, between the prototype that I showed in exhaustive detail and this one. And one of the things that we have right off the bat is this flipper tab. This is probably the biggest actual change. And what you'll see is that the logo has been turned vertical. It was horizontal on the other knife. And so while it is on both sides still, it now faces upward when you're holding the knife like this. and I think it looks quite classy. And the really big difference is this. The feedback they got immediately on the prototype from basically everyone is that it felt kind of jabby. It's the kind of, flipper tab that you put your finger on here and pull back, and those work so well about getting traction. But if you have a point right there, if you look at the way that your finger's hitting it, that's just kind of jabbing in unnecessarily. Like you're curling your finger down to press on this spot, this like flat spot. And so this top jab, a little point, and just kind of sticks into your finger. And just by cutting it back like this, that made all the difference in the world. Yeah, absolutely. This is... Now you can push button it. Yeah, they did it. They totally pulled that off. The idea is that if they cut this little corner down, not only would it not jab you, but you could also push button it, and you absolutely can. This is big enough, even though it doesn't look that big. And the fact that there are these delightful little chamfers all around means that this is not jabby at all. And so you can absolutely push button. And because the directionality of your push, if you push on this flat surface, you're coming down here, you absolutely have a lever arm distance. You're not pushing into the pivot like that. Oh, and it works really, really. I'm really proud of you guys. I'm excited that this came out. Okay, next up, what do we have that's different from before? We have like matte or kind of almost stonewashy. I'm not really sure how they're getting that, but a matte finish on the pivot screw and on the hardware. And I think they said they're going to do it on the clip too, and they did. Yeah, it's like frosty looking. It's not shiny and glossy. I love that. I said in my incredibly long small details review that I didn't know what it was going to look like because I usually see these shiny. Let me pull one out as an example. Yeah, so I'm used to them being shiny like this. But just looking in my drawer right now, I do see that I have this. This is the Giant Mouse Biblio, and you can see that that is like a frosted finish. And it's more like that. I'm glad it's not this. As much as I love wire clips, the fact that they typically are shiny means that they just kind of glimmer and catch your eye a little bit. And so this being a matte finish means that it just is all the more kind of invisible and transparent in your pocket. The other thing that they did, so all of this hardware changes was meant to match the backspacer, and it matches that perfectly. And it was going to make these screws just kind of blend in a little bit more. They already kind of completely disappear with the grayer like this. And then when this gets blacker, it'll just make a little bit more understandable transition. Previously, it was like a very bright thing against a black handle. The other thing that they added in is this extra screw. I said in my video I might take that out because it's there purely to fill that hole. They made this reversible, but by doing that, like originally the idea is that you would just take that screw out and take the entire thing over, but it left a hole there. I might leave that open and take it out, because if you take it out, it's just a black place. And yeah, right now it's not black, but as this oils in, it just kind of vanish. And since I like as few screws as possible, I might just remove that. But honestly, it looks good. And then you get the symmetry like this. When you're looking down at it, you have the symmetry. Yeah, so maybe I'll leave it in. Not sure. That is one of the few things that I would change about this if I could, is that this is kind of a large dome cap. And so if this were a more flat, more flush screw, it would give you just a little bit more room under here. Oh, that's the other thing that changed, is this back corner. So I mentioned in my video that the original they had, actually let me find one that's a little bit more similar. Yeah, the original clip they had looked more like this, where it was shiny but also rounded off. And I said that they were going to transition to a clip that looked more like this due to manufacturing issues that they ran into. And that is indeed where we ended up. Those are tremendously similar, aren't they? And I said I thought that would provide just a little bit more traction in my hand. I said that because this knife is as narrow as it is at the bottom, if my hand was wet at all, occasionally, very rarely, but occasionally I found that this rounded one would just kind of slide a little bit. And right now, like if I slide this back and forth, that definitely slides. And if I move this one, it still slides, but it does indeed provide a little bit more traction from just having a little bit more of a corner there. But I don't think it's going to be uncomfortable. Let me see if I feel it in my hand. Yeah, no, it still feels great. This is definitely one of those knives where I just kind of don't really notice the clip. Some people might, but yeah, one of the nice things about wire clips is that they're just so rounded off, even when they've got a little bit more of a 90 degree there, that they don't ever feel jabby. I love the way this feels in hand. It just feels so good immediately. The detent on this one feels maybe, no, it's not. It's just because I said this in the full thing too. These feel like they have a light detent first because you can pull all the way down here, and that's such an incredibly long lever arm. If you pull up here the way you would on a normal knife, that is a firmer detent. It does feel maybe the slightest bit softer than on the Prototpye he sent. The other thing is I'm noticing it's not making the really, really high-pitched ting noise. And he warned us about that. Oh, but you can hear it still is so incredibly thin that it does. I don't know if you'll be able to hear this in the mic. Okay, so I will take this apart. I'll tune this and see if I can get it making that ting noise, but probably not. But I don't. Oh, man, that's so good. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to check for. Yeah, okay. So I said in the long video that I hoped on the production ones that this plunge grind would come a little bit higher up, and it indeed does. It's still coming close to the edge, but on the Prototpye, this plunge grind was coming all the way up to the edge, and I was getting a tiny bit of a smile already from the factory grind, and on this one, it's actually right there. So it's the kind of thing that could still be pulled up even higher. You don't have very much vertical height at all in terms of a sharpening choil, but it is, in fact, done slightly better than it was on the Prototpye. Meanwhile, everything else looks exactly the same. Oh, I love that crown spine and that chamfer right there that is somehow still smooth. Yeah, this is so freaking cool. The only other thing that is different that I'm aware of, and between this, sorry, I just held it weird in my hand, between this and the Prototpye that I held, is that they got these inside corners to be rounded. I'm sure it doesn't come through super easily when the knife is in this very dry state, but this inside bit right here now has a subtly round chamfer on it. And it runs that way across the entire knife. Yeah, there is now a rounded transition on the inside. So if you do oil this or polish this up at all, it definitely comes through a lot more. Wow, this is so freaking cool. I am thrilled to finally have this in hand. And it is just so ridiculously above and beyond in terms of all of the goodies that came into this whole setup. Wow, this is nuts. And this is just hilarious. Okay, thank you guys for watching. This is longer than I expected it to be. I thought it'd be a pretty darn quick video, but man, this is so cool, and I'm so excited to finally have it in hand. Oh, I forgot, I wanted to add in right here. Let's see if I can get something to shine light back up and maybe zoom in. Yeah, so you can see right there that it says Avant M390, and so that's where your blade steel is. It used to say Avant Prototpye right there, and then right there is where we have our numeralization. So this is number 89. So that is one of my favorite ways to do that kind of stuff on a knife rather than billboarding everywhere. So yeah. Also, I just wanted to point out that I haven't tuned this whatsoever, and this is still just such, I swear, this is like the easiest thumb flick whole knife I've ever experienced. It's just so easy, and this is just so effortless to close. Yeah, this thing is so freaking cool. Thank you, Jake and Ryan, for going so incredibly above and beyond on all of this nonsense. Okay, thanks everyone for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.